Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I'm Thomas from Pixologic. I will do my stream in both French and English. Then please, sorry if I'm switching between the languages. If you have some questions in English, please ask them in the chat. Of course, in French, I will say that all of that in French just after, but feel free to ask all your questions. I will do my best to answer during what I will sculpt. Ok, sorry, now just let's do that in French. Bonsoir tout le monde, je suis Thomas de Pixologic. Je vais faire ce stream en anglais et en français en fonction des questions, de ce que je vais faire. Je vais parler dans les deux langues, c'est un petit peu le bazar, mais on va essayer de s'en sortir un petit peu, donc n'hésitez pas à poser vos questions en français ou en anglais, hein, je ferai de mon mieux pour répondre. Ça va durer quand même environ 2 heures, peut-être 3 heures, je vais voir, donc sur plusieurs sessions. Donc voilà, donc n'hésitez pas à poser vos questions en français et en anglais. Ok, then about this project, I wanted to do some fun art since a while, especially from 2B, from Nier. I don't know how you pronounce that in English, Nielu in Japanese, which is of course a very popular game that I'm playing myself, and I wanted to do something different than just the character from the video game, and I decided to do this fan art from Tim Lochner, again, sorry, about the pronunciation. I give you the link to his artwork directly in the chat. I really enjoy his work. I subscribe to his work. I was following him on ArtStation since a while, and I just felt in love with his artwork. Then I asked him if it was fine about doing this fan art in 3D, and then he gave me his agreement. Then let's go with that. Sorry, just in French. I won't say each time I'm switching to French. Donc je vais faire un fan art basé sur ce travail de Tim Lochner, je sais pas comment on prononce son nom, un artiste allemand. Je vous invite à donc voir son travail. Il fait pas mal de fan art vraiment sympa. Et donc voilà, je vais partir là-dessus, sachant que je suis très figurine. Again, ask me your questions. Okay, I will perhaps do more English than French. I don't know how many people are French or English. Just let me know in the chat. Like that I will know which language I need to focus on, just in details. About my background, you need to know that I'm working at Pixologic. I'm in charge of a lot of things at marketing, and also I'm in charge also of the Japanese market, and I'm working a lot with Japanese artists, and I'm really a lot in this figurine stuff. Then I really enjoy doing that. I have multiple figurines. You see, like this one. Okay, this kind of. I have 80 figurines. Then that's a lot. Okay, then I will, for this stream, not just only today, but it will be at least 3 sessions. I will do everything from the beginning to the end, and when I mean to the end, about the 3D printing process, how to prepare your files, how to, perhaps, I'm not sure yet, but perhaps some post-process cleaning, sanding, and all these kind of things. It will be outside of the brush, but I really want to show a full project from the beginning to the end. Okay? Lamentio, sorry for my French for the last session, I'm sorry, I can't do everything in English. Oui, donc je vais faire un projet vraiment de présentation, voilà, de la figurine. Je suis vraiment là-dedans depuis très très longtemps, donc je vais vraiment couvrir du début jusqu'à la fin. Donc avec ZBrush, vraiment le côté sculpture, la préparation pour l'impression 3D, l'impression 3D en elle-même, et si je peux, le post-process par la suite. Hello, Blance. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your nickname very well. Salut Henri. Okay, then just before starting the sculpt, like I said, it will be a 3D printing project. Then for that, I need to take in consideration that I will print, and also I need to cut part of my models. Then the first step would be for me to start sculpting the character in let's say more T-pose, more in the T-pose shape, or I don't know how you say that. But very quickly we need to know, okay, I need to split my model on this area, and then when I will do my sculpt, I will try to anticipate all the process specific for 3D printing. That's why when I will sculpt, I will try to explain why I'm doing that and what is the purpose for that. Okay, okay, then I'm not in the regular ZBrush UI, I'm in my own custom UI in a position to more let's learn ZBrush presentations, but well, nothing very specific to that. Then I will start to work with some references. I will load some background references just to have some proportions. Donc pour commencer ce projet-là, je vais aller charger donc des images de référence. Voilà ici donc dans ZBrush, front, back, map, and I will import some textures. Let me load the good ones. Then I just did some preparation work first, front one, okay, like that. What I did was just opening some images I found on internet just in Photoshop, and be sure that the front and back will be just aligned. Of course, I'm doing a fan art, but I want as much as possible to fit the proportion of 2B. The character, and another one, draw on the side. I think it's right side, left side, let me see. I'm not very sure. Side, okay, the good one. But legs are not on the good direction. Let me just flip. Okay, and modifiers, sorry, I will just remove the RGB on off. I will just remove the y-axis. Okay, now I have the good proportion. Oh, just for that, I will share you. This is where my references are coming from. I'm sharing this article from the original modeler of 2B. And this is where the images are coming from. It's interesting to look at. You see some ZBrush, of course. Then just look at that. Let me just copy past the link. Ok, this is what I used. Donc voilà, c'est juste ces images-là que j'ai utilisées comme référence derrière. Le but est d'avoir les proportions. Vous voyez, il y a vraiment les différentes couches ici qui apparaissent. Donc voilà, donc je vous laisse regarder un petit peu tout ça. Donc voilà. Up. And for the material I'm using, this is a custom one, Polyskin one. In fact, it's already in ZBrush Core, and it will be a part of ZBrush for R8, and then everybody will be able to access to that. This is a custom one I did some time ago, but I really enjoy it. Okay, now let's move forward and start sculpting something. Then the first step for me will be to have the good proportion, and when I'm working, most of the time my steps are very easy, I'm just starting with these spheres, and after I'm switching to Dynamesh, changing the shape, and after I'm doing a lot of swap between Dynamesh and subdivision levels, of course using the remesher. Then I will work on the proportions of my character of 2B, and when it will be just roughly sculpted, mainly the parts which are very visible for the skin parts, I will start to work on the paws, the claws, the pod also as well, accessories, splitting, and so on. Ok, donc voilà, je vais commencer avec des Z-sphères. Tout simplement, je vais juste changer mes paramètres d'affichage. Je vais passer en mode, voilà, 2, donc dans l'immédiat. Ok, I just switched to mode 2 for okay, it's very difficult for me to switch between French and English on the fly. Okay, I'll just switch to the mode 2 for the display of the background images and the shape. Okay, let me just do some scale. Okay, pelvis like that. Okay, it should be fine. Move. And okay, let's go. What I'm always doing when I'm working with these spheres is to define main areas. You see, I'm not very, just a line, but well, anyway, give me some proportions. Okay, like that. Move. And I'm always going just to the end of the legs, like that. I can move a little bit, and now I will insert these spheres to be closer to the shape. Oops. You see, like that. I can change the scale. Donc je peux aussi augmenter, voilà, très légèrement les proportions. Ok. See, like that. Oops. Mais très rapidement, de toute façon, je vais commencer à sculpter. Donc voilà. Ok, let's continue for the top. Like that. This is, I know a lot of people now are using Dynamesh just to define some parts, but I'm still, let's say, very old school for that. By reusing my old these fields. Okay, like that. Draw. I just also need to add that most of the time the first stage of my model is not very nice and very clean, and I'm refining a lot. You need to consider that I'm more a technical artist than a pure artist. Then that's why I'm working with more stages for my model. You will see that during the full process. Okay, scale. I hope my English is fine. Ok, dude, j'ai été introduit à la technique de blocking de caractères par IMM Brush avec Shane Olson. Oui, effectivement. Les avantages entre l'IMM et Z-Sphere pour commencer un perso. C'est vraiment assez spécifique. J'ai tendance à faire de plus en plus de l'insert mesh aussi. Faire des blocs et vraiment assembler. Ça a aussi des avantages, des inconvénients. Vraiment, c'est une question vraiment de goût, on va dire, derrière. Je peux pas dire laquelle technique, je dirais la meilleure. Ok, let me just do the neck. I'm pressing the shift key when I'm inserting this sphere like that. I'm keeping the same size. Okay. More like that. You are writing a lot. 3D printed Aspy, you did not miss a lot, just some talk at the beginning. Okay. And the head, I will do another shape. In fact, for the head, I will do a separate model for that. It's just for me to have just an idea about the positions of everything. Okay. Even for the hands, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit lazy for the hands, but I'm using an IMM brush for that. Donc voilà, j'ai tendance à un petit peu mixer toutes les techniques. Ok, donc maintenant j'ai, a priori, vous voyez la forme principale. Je vais commencer donc à changer un petit peu voilà l'ensemble, donc les formes. Alors, donc je vais me faire un Make Polymesh 3D Subtool. Je vais me faire un insert. Ok, oops. I switched already, sorry. Delete. Come on. Okay. I put back my symmetry, and now with my move brush, I'm just starting to refine the proportions. Just like that. I will mainly focus on just one side, of course, of my character, not both sides. Okay, like this. And after, of course, I will sculpt more in detail part of my model. The back, not very nice right now, it's mainly very ugly, but well. Again, like I said, the idea is to just having some proportions. After I will Dynamesh and start to sculpt what I want. Okay. And as soon as I have something, like I said just before, I will switch to Dynamesh. Let's do that now. I also have a custom menu, except that I lost my hotkeys. Sorry, I switched between sessions, between my main sessions and this training session. Hold on. Welcome control panel. Okay, let me just remove that for now. Preference, hotkeys, store. Okay. Again, like I said, I have this custom menu, which is just a pop-up, and where I have most of my functions. Okay, we've done clay build-up. I will just start to work. Oh, you see I have the P line, which appear when I'm sculpting like that. This is in draw, and you have the P line, which is front back P line, and I guess on the left right P line. Okay. Then let me just sculpt roughly. Just want to refine my model. What I will do for now, I will just hide my grids like that, because it's more annoying than anything else. Okay. Okay. If you have some question, just ask them. I'll try to do my best. It's not really it's not a concept. This is just a fan art made by a German artist. Okay, that's, and you see I have my other references. Then for the top part, of course, I need to take care about the body by itself, because even if it's a fan art, you see that okay, I still have a lot of body parts which are visible, except for part of the arms, but everything else would be very visible. I need to be very careful about all of that. Okay, let me just reduce my references. I will just put back the music. I don't know why. I just lost the audio. Okay, because I may not talk all the time. Also, one thing, it's always very good to have some references to help you about proportions and things like that. I don't know where is my book? Where is my... You see some, it's always good to have some, this one, this is in French, but you have the same one in English. This one from Pretty Total, and of course I put my son just took the book, but Anatomy for Sculptor also is a very good book. Let me know if the music is not too loud when I'm speaking. En français, n'hésitez pas à poser vos questions, hein. Je sais que je tendance à plus parler en anglais qu'en français, mais voilà, n'hésitez pas à me parler. Hop. Je ferai de mon mieux. The back part of the character is very important. I'm sorry, I'm a guy and I really love female body. This is the best thing in the world, the nicest thing that you can have. Again, I'm not trying to have something which is perfect at this stage, because I will later do something which is very common for me in terms of workflow. I will switch, I told that just before, but I will switch to ZRemesher and subdivision levels. Which is great to change the proportions of your characters. Okay. Let me just put back my references. Je remets mes préférences, ma référence derrière. Ok. Also, I'm switching a lot between one part to another part at the beginning. I don't care if I'm working just on the legs and after, let's say, the arms or the head. I'm really trying to see my model as a whole, just about everything. Okay, just taking care about the perspective. Sorry for the music, this is just a random playlist from on Spotify or something like that. Okay. About the brushes, you will see that I'm using mainly the Kleeblatt brush, the Damp Standard and Move brush, but for this first stage it's very basic. I have a question in French. I will switch to French, but est-ce que c'est le genre de musique que j'écoute quand je... Enfin, est-ce que le genre de musique que j'écoute influence mon coup de brosse? Honnêtement, non, pas vraiment. Par contre, oui, ça va jouer un peu sur mon humeur ou sur... est-ce que j'ai la patate ou pas, ou comment je me lâche, on va dire. Donc, c'est difficile de répondre. Mais ouais, il y a quand même quelque chose qui va jouer, on va dire, sur ce que je vais faire, on va dire. Il y a quand même un truc. Par contre, ça, la musique qu'on entend, c'est pas ce que j'écoute d'habitude. Donc voilà. Also, I really enjoy doing some landmarks when I'm sculpting, which is for me very important. Just some visual helps, even if I won't use them at the end. I'm looking for the hips, which are pretty large. Of course, there is some fat on top of that, but I really enjoy doing that. It's a bit too much. Okay, like that. I need to change the shape, really the shape. You see, I have the back is really weird, very top. Proportions are not very good at all, but again, I will refine all of that during the process. But right now, yes, this part is not very nice at all. And this is the beauty, of course, of digital sculpting, is that you are free to refine as much as you want. Okay. Okay, let me just remove the background, the floor. switch from mask rectangle to mask lasso, which is behind PureRef. Okay. That way. Feel free to ask your questions. I will really do my best to answer. Again, if I can answer them. Again, my English is very limited. Oops. I hope you can follow what I'm trying to explain. When I'm working most of the time, I'm trying to listen. I'm listening to original soundtracks for movies. In fact, I'm also listening to video game soundtracks, which are very great because it helps you keeping your focus and not thinking too much about the music. But of course, because this is a live stream, I can't use that, unfortunately. The Nier Automata soundtrack is really beautiful. This is something that you need to listen to. Well, this is my point of view, at least. I need to look at my angle for my legs. Yep. I have it's a good angle. Let me just look a bit. About the recording, this is currently I'm recording myself, and of course after this session is done, it will upload to YouTube, and nothing is lost. The question about my preferences between technical differences between modeling for 3D printing and regular model. When you're doing 3D printing, you have a lot of physical constraints, which are very, very important to consider, because you have overhang, meaning that when you have some, you see this part, which is just take this one. Just this model, you see that the arms are very, are just touching the legs. Why? Because if it's more a T-pose, a regular T-pose like that, the problem is when you're printing from, let's say, bottom to top, then you need to have something to help growing your model from the building plate to your model, which are supports. The more support you have, the longer it takes to print. After this is the post-process about sanding, cleaning. You have risk about breaking your model, then you need to consider these kind of things. Also, if you want to paint, if you want also to easily sand some part as well, the more part you have, the easier it will be to print, prepare your model, defining where you want to have support and all these kind of things. Also, when you are printing, you need to consider that the 3D printer and both SLA printing, FDM printing, SLS, all these kind of technical, these different printers and technology for printing are just smoothing a little bit the details. Then if you want to have a very accurate print, you need to increase some details. Then a model for 3D printing may not be very nice to look at. And also after, if you want to create for video games or things like that, this is not the same constraint at all. For 3D printing, what you're looking for is the visual aspect. You don't care about the topology. As soon as the topology, let's say, is clean, a clean topology. But for the number of polygons, if it's triangles, everything, you don't care, which is in a way, well, a great thing to do. Okay. Okay. For the printing, I will do something for SLA printing, which is for my Form 1 Plus. I'm really looking about purchasing a Form 2 from Formlabs. I really want to purchase this printer. I had one for just 3 months, and to be honest, come on. This is a printer you need to have for all ZBrush sculptors. There is no discussion about that. Voilà, ce que je disais, j'ai déjà fait le test sur mon site, sur polysculpt.com. En imprimante 3D, la Form 2 est vraiment une super imprimante. Voilà, à avoir. Donc, voilà, faut vraiment, je dirais, regarder ce genre d'imprimante, sachant que l'impression 3D pour moi est une obligation pour tous les sculpteurs. Something I just said in French is, from my point of view, any kind of digital artist, and not only for ZBrush artists, of course ZBrush users are for me on top. I mean the most important one for what I will say, but all kind of artists should look at 3D printing and purchase a 3D printer. You really see your model in a different way to what they are, and it's very, very important, and it changes the vision that you have to your model, what you want to do, and it pushes you to do more sculpt, more artwork, because it's so beautiful to just to be able to touch your model. And you see that this small print, this is a quick print. This is another model I'm doing on my free time, on my own channel, on the channel Polysculpt. This is another project I'm doing with a Japanese artist, Ryota H. He's an illustrator and doing this model as a figurine. And you see, I'm very far to the end, but at this stage, I did a quick print of this model just to see the proportion, to see, okay, is it working, not working, what is wrong, what is okay, or what is perfect. And even if I'm very used about looking at my model on my computer, it's totally different to have something just in your hand with your real eyes. This is real 3D. It's not a VR headset, it's real 3D. And just do this print. You see, this is this is FDM printing, this one is SLA printing. This one you can print bigger, but the quality is very far from the SLA printing. Okay. You are writing a lot. Vous écrivez beaucoup là. Ok. Salut Issoum. Ok. 3D print, I spy this one how this event printer. No, I have no idea. Of course, you can link your channel, Lukai. About 3D printer, this is a little bit off topic discussion. This is Sunday, it's a weekend, even if I'm Pixologic. Okay, come on, let's just remove my Pixologic hat. What is my... I don't know. Anyway, from my point of view, for 3D printing, it's very important to take care about which 3D printer you will use. I try multiple printer. I have 3 printers here at home. I have the Form 1 Plus, I have a Ultimaker which is behind, and a Zim which is a dual extruder. And I tried other printers. I have some friends, Blueberry, who is right now in the chat, who is living in Bordeaux, then very close to me, who is one of my best friends. We try a lot of different printers, and okay, you can find some printers which are, let's say, cheaper than this brand or this brand, but you really need to consider the community which is behind to find some help, the support, which is very important, because even if 3D printing has been here for available in the market for years now, it's not that common, and if you have a cheap printer, and you can find printers at $300, $200, but you need to be ready to spend a lot of time trying to improve, upgrade, and during this time, I'm sorry, but for me, you are not sculpting. Then if you are just a pure hobbyist, okay, it's great, but if you are just someone like me looking for time, it's a real issue. And I don't say that Formlabs is the best company in the world, but I've been there with them working just on my own, because I purchased a printer with one of our my coworker, a developer at Pixologic, but just on our own, and we had a lot of issues. They replaced 3 times my Form 1, but they did a wonderful job about replacing the printer, no asking questions, improving things over the time. And I love printers where the company just died or not replying, then you need to consider that. And my other printers, the Ultimaker 2 Plus Extended, it's a great community, they are improving, they are reactive, and for me it's a part of the price. And it really depends if you want something which is working and spending your time in doing art creation, or spending your time fixing things. Then, well, it's my point of view, but try to keep that in mind. Okay. Sorry, I'm talking a lot, I'm sculpting right now. I'm sorry, I will speak a little bit in French. Faut savoir que je peux maintenant streamer beaucoup plus facilement. Pour ceux qui me connaissent déjà, je vais remettre en place mes ateliers sur ZBrush. Alors certains qui seront sur ZBrush Live, tant qu'à faire, autant faire ça via Pixologic. Mais je vais aussi relancer le club ZBrush & Co. Donc ce sera un club virtuel, on va pouvoir discuter justement de tout ce qui est 3D. De tout ce qui est justement ce qui va aussi autour de ZBrush, qui est quand même relativement important. Toutes ces choses là, parce que jusqu'à maintenant j'ai des problèmes de connexion internet. Maintenant, merci Free, bon, tout n'est pas parfait, mais je peux streamer directement en 4G, donc pour moi c'est la grosse révolution. Donc voilà, je vais commencer à plus en plus de streams qui seront des fois très techniques, des fois juste de la sculpture commentée, ou des fois juste on va discuter ensemble de différentes choses. Donc voilà. Sorry for the talk in French. I will just work a little bit more on the body, and then I will switch to the head by itself, which is of course the fun part. Okay, I just would like to know, is the stream quality fine or not? Do you are losing a lot of... there is some issues about the stream? No, it's fine? Someone saying that it's lagging? Okay. For the source of the image, let me just put back the image. This one. This is a great work from Tim. For the frame rate, just to let you know that okay, I have just some slowdown from the stream. I don't know why I'm losing some. I don't know, I have good quality. I hope Windows is not doing some kind of background update on the background. I'm sorry for that, I have no idea. Let me just look at my network. My bandwidth should be enough, but I don't know, it should be fine. Yes, I'm losing some frames, way too much. Okay, at this stage, what I will do is, even if it's very far to be the final body, again, I will just use my Z-remesher. Okay, let me just do something like that. Okay. You see, I have no details so far, but I'm fine. But by doing something here with a lower quality, you see I have less quads. To change my proportion, it would be way more easier. And I will switch back to Dynamesh anyway just after. Can put back my references. Can switch from draw mode to okay. Font mode. There is some differences between the front and the back, unfortunately. Okay.
Vous voulez faire décoller votre carrière et gagner de l'argent avec votre musique? TuneCore.fr.
Okay, sorry, there's some advertising on the stream.
Les artistes TuneCore ont gagné plus d'un demi-milliard d'euros en vendant leur musique dans le monde entier. Et il y a encore mieux. TuneCore.fr ne prend aucune commission sur vos royalties. Avec TuneCore, diffusez votre musique,
That's some
élargissez
good
votre
advertising.
fanbase
Good at
et
that.
gagnez de l'argent. Cliquez sur la bannière pour commencer à vendre votre musique dès aujourd'hui grâce à TuneCore.
Okay. Oh, yes, I need to save, Doug. Right, I didn't save anything yet. Let me just do a quick save. You're right. Yeah, that's my problem. I think like a lot of people, when I'm working, I'm just sculpting and not taking care about, oh, I need to save. Okay. Sorry. And I will do a project as well, because like that I will have all my setup for the background images, point of view materials. Okay. Okay, for the stream, I have no idea why I'm losing so many frames. Okay, let me... sorry. For my background, it's, well, I've been working in 3D development company since 1996. I'm not really an artist, like I said before. I'm more a technical artist. I did fine art when I was younger, but not spending years and years doing digital and traditional. Even if I did some traditional sculpting on stone first when I was way younger. A few years ago I did some more clay sculpting, which is, to be honest, if you never tried traditional sculpting, spend some time on that. It's really fantastic. And then I've been working at Pixologic now. It's been 9 years now that I've been working at Pixologic. Then, well, it's quite some time. And working with people like you, of course, it's, I think, one of the best work in the world. There is nothing to add about that. With all the artists right now, of course, we announced recently the ZBrush Summit. Then preparing all of that, the ZBrush Live, which is also something fantastic. We just started recently. You see, even for my stream, I'm very surprised to have almost 100 of people just watching someone like me, not very popular, doing this this artwork. And no, it's really fantastic. Okay, let me just use that because I need to work on more the back. And just about ZBrush, perhaps you already watch on ZBrush Meet, and I hope you are following us and you followed us in the past for the ZBrush Summit, which is a great opportunity to learn way more about ZBrush and the artists working, having all these great studios and freelance artists showing what they're doing with ZBrush. And I guess you noticed multiple times Paul spoke about the documentation. This is just a part of my work, but I'm writing the documentation of ZBrush. You know, the thing that nobody is looking for or watching, or sorry, reading, but this is a part of my work. And since ZBrush 3.12, then it's been a while. Then, like Paul, and Joseph, I know a lot of features about ZBrush, which is great, but of course you can know a lot of features, but if you don't know how to use them, well, it's useless. And yeah, so to be honest, ZBrush, and it's not because I'm working at Pixologic, this is, and everybody who know me know that how much ZBrush changed my life as an artist. I was at the beginning a polygonal modeler. I've been working on the development of Hexagon, which is now owned by Days 3D, and I'm really in 3D software. And okay, the first time I saw ZBrush, I just discovered the videos of ZBrush, the announcement for the Lord of the Rings, and say, okay, this is what I need to do now. And luckily now I'm working at Pixologic, and well, it's we are a company, you see, even if I may not be the best artist in the world, there is a lot of better artists than me, but we are a company of artists and we are doing everything for the artist, which is very, very important for us. Okay, then I will switch to the head now. And all of that will be refined, perhaps doing some other parts. Let me just start sculpting. And the version here is, okay, perhaps too low. This version, this fan art is a little bit different than the character. Then for this kind of parts, sometimes I'm using insert sphere that I'm changing the shape before merging. I can sculpt. It depends of my mood, let's say. Okay, let me remove the background. Okay, stream quality should be better now. I hope everything is fine. Yes, I have some, not references on the monitor, but again, I have this cut, this anatomy écorché from 3D Total, which are very great, and you can't see that because I can't rotate my camera. I'll try about not breaking everything, but you see. I have also this big écorché from Anatomy Tools, which is a great thing. I have the male and the female, and again I have a bunch of figurines, cuts all around me. You see, I have this. You see skulls like that. A lot of things. My problem is I don't know anymore where I can put my stuff. Okay, stream. I don't know because for the stream I had no. Oh. Okay, let's stop talking a little bit and sculpt a little bit more. And this is something I'm always fighting with my students, or even if I'm don't train a lot anymore, not as much as I would love to, but always try to keep a low resolution, and then of course if you need more, then switch to a higher resolution, but no need to go like crazy. Okay, I will just keep with that now, and after I will refine more when I will work with the hands and more in details. I need to take its proportions are weird for the legs, they are really big. This is definitely not the music that I'm listening most of the time. Okay, let's switch to the head now. Doug, I have no idea. No, I see the stream is going up and down. I have 20 megabytes of upload speed, and right now I'm just uploading at 2 megabytes, and it should be fine. I have no idea. But I just lost 16% of frames, which is a lot. 3D printed Aspire. I would love to put the Nier soundtrack, but unfortunately I don't have the agreement to do that, and then Twitch would just mute the stream. Then let's avoid. I put another soundtrack, or perhaps I will use some other movies. Okay, now I'm fine with the body. I will just save as that, of course. Save as. I will save that. Yes, Doug. Sorry, I just noticed your message. Okay. Now the head. Okay, for the head, I will start with a Polysphere 3D. Let me just remove the background. Okay, which is a Dynamesh, if I'm not wrong. Okay, Dynamesh, resolution is fine. Okay, then let me change the proportion a little bit. And what I will do is I will mask that. Okay, rotating a little bit. When I'm working, I'm also working most of the time in orthogonal view, not in perspective, because unfortunately perspective is breaking a lot of things, at least from my point of view. Then trying to take care about all of that. About 2B, you see this fan art is very anime style, manga style. In the game, she's way more realistic. You see there is some other references you see from her face from at the end of the part, which is from the demo of the game. Of course, eyes are bigger than natural eyes. There is some change in proportions, but she's way more, let's say, realistic. Then I don't know which one I will keep. Of course, the good thing is I don't need to take about the eyes and things like that. Then Lementios, I have 80 around figurines, not only a female one, male also as well, but of course, well. Dodo, non, je ne fais Enfin, je fais pas. Si j'ai pas le temps de faire des séminaires dans les écoles, j'aimerais bien, mais non, malheureusement, c'est pas un truc que j'ai le temps de faire. Donc non, désolé. Okay, this part will be also not very nice at the beginning, because again I need to take care about the proportions and anime head are way, I mean, very, very complex to do. A lot of people say, oh, it's just a spheres and blah, blah, blah. Come on, no. Trying at least to have the good shape, which is for me the most important. we need to consider that the anime faces are very flat. Let me look about what I can take. Which one I can take with me? Perhaps they are all on the background. See. I don't know. I need to see where is my camera. You see, I don't know if you can see this one, but the profile, the distance between the root, the foundation of the nose and the eyes are very, very close. This is very flat part. Even the ears are very on the front part of the head and not on the back of the head. And this is something which is very important to consider. So I can't show you my office. Okay. The largest print piece I've worked on, not so big, in fact. Some pretty print, which is where it is. Sorry, it's on the back. 32 centimeters, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm French and I'm speaking in centimeters, not inches. And I'm really thinking about working on full-size model of one of my characters. I'm really looking about that. If I find the time, which will be a mix of FDM printing and SLA printing, depending of the shape of the parts. I won't spend a lot of time on the face for now. I just want to start to build something which will be close to the model by itself. Okay, let's move. And same as before, for this stage, I will very soon switch to do a retopology of my model. Just to help me changing the proportions. Yeah, I know you understand metrics in America, Doug. I really understand that, but I know that even myself, between inches and feet, and always in my mind, okay, 2.55, I need to multiply it. Okay, I know it's a kind of headache. And if I'm not wrong, officially, I think in America, metrics units are the official one, but no one are using them. I wrote something like that, so I need to look more in details. Okay, now what I will do, I will try to improve that a little bit. Again, I will use the remesher. Perhaps I will have too much polygons for now. Yep, too many polygons, sorry. I will go in geometry, the remesher, because I will press my Alt key by pressing the remesher, which I can do with my pop-up. Okay, better that way. And now when I'm doing that, I can do Ctrl-D, Ctrl-D. I have subdivision levels, and I can switch between my levels to say that, okay, I want to sculpt now more my lips. Like that. With my damn standard brush. then even if I will remove that just after, but just to give me some, again, landmarks. Don't forget that the background, okay, will be masked as well. Move. Like that I have a better understanding of the position of the eyes. Can bend a little bit like that, rotating slightly. But by doing that, I know that you see my eyes. This is good from this part, but this part I need to sculpt a little bit. I know that it should be around that way. Even if they are a little bit too far, I think. Okay. Always, you see, I started with a sphere, then you need to consider that, again, that the top part is less rounded on the side. And I can switch back to a lower resolution. That's why I'm always working with my subd levels. It's so much easier to refine like that your model. Okay. I need to take care about the time as well. Okay, I think you don't need me, then I can continue. So I'll do some French talk. N'hésitez pas je ne sais pas si vous êtes beaucoup de Français là à l'heure actuelle sur le stream. Donc n'hésitez pas à me dire déjà si vous êtes des Français, il n'y a pas de problème. Vous pouvez poser vos questions en français, j'y répondrai en français, donc il n'y a pas de problème. Je sais que je parle plus en anglais parce qu'il y a beaucoup plus d'anglais que de français, mais voilà, n'hésitez pas. Je ferai mon mieux pour vous répondre. Yes, Doug, this part, I understand what your comment about being frightened and worried about what they're doing about this low resolution. In fact, most people, when they are starting to sculpt, they are afraid about not having enough material. And okay, I can divide, I can put a lot of polygons, so having a high resolution Dynamesh, it's great because I can put a lot of polygons, and ZBrush can handle that very easily. The problem is the more material you have, the more you will focus on small details and not understanding your shape. Again, we are always speaking about the silhouette, etc., etc. I'm not a high-end sculptor, and I won't go deep in details, but again, when you are defining your shape, you see that when you are working like that, you have a lot of flexibility. It's very elastic. And when you have so many polygons, you are just trenching your model, and then this is the best way to do some blobs or not very nice surfaces. The only downside about this technique is you are switching a lot between Dynamesh and subdivision levels with, for me, retopology and ZRemesher. It's not complicated at all, but you need to understand a little bit better the technical aspect of ZBrush and not really the sculpting aspect of sculpting. But as soon as you understand about working with multiple levels of subdivisions, and then switching between Dynamesh and other, let's say, techniques of ZBrush, well, it's where you start to do a lot of improvements about your sculpting. You see, by going up and down, you see my shape seems to be approximately fine that way. But if I go up, you see, I have all this detail that I need to remove, of course. But you see, I see that if I want to change, you see this rounded area, which is not nice at all. You see this part, which is weird. And even the forehead on this area is not very nice. If I want to do a move like that, I can do it, but I need to have very large brush. And if I go down, I have more, you see, freedom. I can do some touch, little bits of small move to fix all these parts. That way, I can move forward to have, again, like I said, my face, which is kind of flat. You see, I can now just smooth a little bit. And of course, when I'm in a higher resolution, I can use more my sculpting brush to refine my shape like that. Okay, I'm sorry, I need to do some ears because it's very difficult to work with your proportions. Like that, okay. I don't care about having accurate ears for now. Oops. Okay. And what I can do is I can use transpose, rotate. You see, like that. My idea is more to have some shapes. See the proportion, it's too, there is some issues on that area. But like that, it should be more easier. And again, I'm not looking for the perfect shape, definitely not. My goal is to, I will stop the stream in approximately, I don't know, 1 hour, something like that. And my idea is to have at least a big part of the model to have the strong foundations. And the next stream will be more about refining, working on the pose, having something which is nicer to look at. And then other part will be more the details, preparing. I have the pod also as well, the accessories to sculpt. Oops. Oops, Thomas, come on. And I will switch back to Dynamesh anyway just after. That's why I don't care about my ears, they are not very nice. But at least like that, I can start to understand better my shape. And if you want to be very afraid of what you're doing, you can switch between perspective and orthogonal. Something I'm doing on a very regular basis. You see that orthogonal is, let's say, could be fine. But if you switch to perspective, you see, it's not working anymore. Then, okay, now I can just change. You see, like that. A kind of egg style for the head. Okay, that way. By the way, if you want to subscribe to my own channel on Twitch, please do it, but just keep in mind that I may speak way more in French than in English. But I try to stream at least twice a week if I can, to work on this Vitessa project, this one. But well, it depends, of course, of my work at Pixologic. We are all very busy. But I really want to start again doing some streams. And for me, this is a good way to do some sculpts and spending more time with ZBrush. I mean ZBrush, personally speaking. I don't know how to say that, but having me spending times with doing things, let's say, more on my own. Okay, let me just... The main problem, I think, for all the artists are to find times between what you need to do for your job and what you want to do for yourself. Okay, I need to work on my lips. They are not nice at all. And lips must be nice. Not having a duck style lips. And I know that I will work again on my lips because I will probably doing more Dynamesh on it. Then I will lose part of what I'm doing right now, but I don't care. Oh, something which is very important. Okay, sorry. And what is very important is to start to work on the the visible part of the body by itself. Why? Because I remember that we have this, I don't know, this band, I don't know what is the name of on top of the eyes, the hairs on the top, then only the bottom part of the body will be visible. And for me, having eyes is more a way to see more the, I mean, having more help for the proportions. Okay. I think my lips are a little bit too... I need to put them more on the top, they are too low. By the way, I'm fine with critics. If you think that something is off or whatever, I'm always fine with someone saying, okay, perhaps Thomas, it should be that way, or I don't think that proportions are good, or more, something like that. Because you know, when you are sculpting something, you are just in front of your screen, your art, your model, and you don't have, you are too much in your art, and you don't see most of the issues. And of course, when you go back after a 1 or 2 hours break or a day break, you see that, oh my god, so ugly. Okay, of course, I forgot to put back my symmetry. Come on, Thomas. Smart Russ. Some Smart Russ sim. Okay, and now let's put back the symmetry. Let me just look at what you're saying. By the way, the stream should be 2 hours, but perhaps I will do something like 3 hours. The next stream is at 8 tonight, with Shane Olson at 8:30 p.m. Then, well, I have quite some time. Doug, I'm working with a Cintiq 22 HD, and I also have a Mobile Studio Pro 16, which I'm not using right now, more when I'm on the go or working in the bed with when my wife is sleeping, which is something very common. Then I'm using both, but I'm fine with working with a regular tablet. But I know that my sculpting is always better when I'm working with the Cintiq by far, and for me this is a no-brainer to use the Cintiq. But I understand that there is people who don't like that, who prefer a regular tablet. It's really up to you, let's say. Yeah, that's a good idea about saving what I'm doing. Okay, just one thing before saving. You see a problem with overhang. I will do the ears because we can see them just under the hairs of the character of 2B. But you need to consider, you see that when you will print your model, that on this area, like that, you have a small part. You see, it will just do the slice like that, all the layers one by one, and when it will arrive on this area, you see that you have a big overhang which will start like that on this area. Then you need to have some support on this part. Then if you do something which is, I don't know the name of the part, the lower part of the ears, which are lobe in French, you try to give some angles. Like if you want to merge, and you have people who have this part, this lobe in French, sorry, merge with just the beginning of the jaw, it can help. Then you can avoid having extra support just for nothing. Then it's better for your material, it's better for a lot of things. And also if you do the head in just a separate part like that, You can print your head with an angle. Let me just rotate my view. You see, like that. And then you will have the support on the bottom. Then you may have some support on this area, but this part won't be first visible, and then it will be easier to send. While if you print vertically your head like that, you may have some support needed for, let's say, the nose or other parts. Then it's important to anticipate where you need to have these supports. And of course, understanding better the constraint of digital sculpting will be a big help for preparing your model. That's why even if you don't want to print yourself, but you think that you will work for people who will print your work, you must have a 3D printer just to understand all these constraints. Because during all the process of this model, I know that always, I keep in mind that I need to consider the 3D printing parts, where we need to have this support, if I can do something to avoid some support, etc., etc., etc. Alors, about the eyebrows, I did them again. It won't be visible, but at least it gave me some ideas. You see, just like that, when I see my ears, I say, oh my god, it's not ears, I don't know what it is. But having the eyes will help me to see, okay, it's totally off. It's weird. I really need to change something like that. Then I can go back in, just you see, resolution, changing my proportion like that, perhaps the next level, trying to reduce them, and they are very far on the back. It should be a little bit closer to the front part, then I can move slightly. Yeah, anime face, like I said, the front part is it's very close, and I need to change the jaws a little bit. I can smooth like that. You see, then on this side it looks fine, a little bit far from the head, but it should be okay. But having the eyes again will help me to understand my shapes. Of course, if I'm lazy, I can use an AMM brush, which will make my ears growing. And I know I will rework them. I mean, I did that very quickly. And sometimes when I'm not happy at all, I'm just smoothing everything and I restart from scratch. When you have very bad start about something, it's better to restart from scratch than trying to fix for hours and hours and hours what is wrong. Pour un caractère modeleur en France, quel prix conseilles-tu pour faire imprimer un perso? C'est assez difficile de te donner un ordre de prix, ça dépend de la technique, je dirais, d'impression utilisée, de la résolution. Après, voilà, si tu... Je sais pas, faudrait... De toute façon, le plus simple, c'est que tu crées un compte chez Sculpteo, par exemple, ou chez Shapeways, et tu uploads ton modèle, éventuellement une version basse résolution, mais au moins la bonne taille, et tu vois le prix que ça va donner derrière. Par contre, ce qui est super important, c'est qu'il faut penser à... Comment ça s'appelle, à évider ton modèle, parce que la matière première coûte de l'argent. Donc si ton modèle est grand, plus tu les vides, moins il y aura de quantité de matière, moins ça coûtera cher derrière. For the G-code software using for my software, for the FDM printer, I'm using Simplify 3D, which is a commercial software, which is really awesome. It's very quick to generate the G-code, to preview the model. You have a lot of very advanced information, but of course you need to master a little bit the software. It's something like $169, and I'm using for the for all my FDM printers. Of course, for the Form 1 Plus, I'm using the software from Formlabs, which is, to be honest, working perfectly, which is very fine. I mean, fine. How long do you think this model will take to be ready for 3D printing? Just to give you an idea, hold on, let me just look for one image. Where is it? Sorry, I'm looking for a file on my computer. Where's my Dropbox folder? Sorry, I'm looking for something, but oh, let me show you one image. Yeah, this is this model that I will print at full scale. Let me just look about the last version. This is very old one. You see, this one is the last version because I did some changes. It has been printed with the Form 1 Plus. Let me just go back to the ZBrush model. You see, this one is 32 centimeters, which is quite big. And I will do that at full scale, but again, it will be something like 1 meter and 60 centimeters, something like that, approximately, and it will be big. And I will print some part, like the face, some part with the Form 1 Plus, but everything else with the Form 2. But it's not what I wanted to show you. Where is it? Sorry for the few seconds. Oh, remember this Vitessa? This is this figurine. This one. This is a project I'm working on my my free time. You see this model, which will be. I hope to finish that for this summer. Because it's a lot of details and I'm trying to be very accurate with the creation. The artist sent me some blueprints, everything, and I really want to move forward on this project. And the two characters, a little bit of background, which will be of course deformed to fit the size of a diorama, of an environment. It could be nice. Anyway, where did I put that? Sorry, I have some issue with file size and space on my computer. Okay, sorry. Yeah, 160. It's quite big. Unlimited budget for 3D printer. Let's say not unlimited, but something which is let's say affordable. Again, for SLA printing, the Form 2 is really fantastic. But there is some chemical stuff. It's the tolerance in mistakes from your side, it's very limited. Then for me, of FDM printer, which is great and you can have very fine prints, Ultimaker are doing great printers. They're a little bit expensive, but I mean, I have no issue with that. It just prints as soon as your bed is, I mean, the building platform is just well leveled, it's fine. Not Neko-chan. Okay. Okay, this one. Sorry, this is not the last image. It's just to answer the question about the time it takes. I spent approximately 8 days for everything to do that. For 3D printing, it was for a show in Japan, the Wonder Festival. It's from a license, Night of Shidonia, Kishino Shidonia, and I just had. I don't have the reference image. Yes, this reference image, just to work on everything. And it's I base my work on the anime. Then you have all these parts split. Sorry, this is cell phone photos. This is some photos done with the Form 2. You see that there is no layers visible. It's just fantastic. Some of the parts which I print, and you see that when you are printing, and that's why this is very important to consider for your model and anticipating that you have all these supports, and these supports are just leaving some small marks on your model when you are just removing them. Then you need to sand that, and it takes some time, and you can lose some details. If you have these touch points on area which are very visible, if you need to sand, you will lose all your details that you sculpt with ZBrush. And it's very important to know, okay, why I need to split, where I need to split, how I will split to be able to easily put back everything together, and being able to clean or molding or painting everything. Then it's working fine. You see, I also mix some different resin. This one is I don't know if you say that's the accent in English. Very strong resin. Sorry, because it needs to support the white of the model, because this kind of tentacles, the model is just not touching. It's not very visible. You see this render. The tentacles are just supporting the model, and it needs to support the white of the model. And you see the print. Sorry, this is cell phone quality, but it's just perfect. And you see on the background some Star Wars stuff that I'm also working on, but I can't show you that for now. I'm sorry. You see, for this kind of print, I mean, you have almost no sanding, just a little bit of 1200 for the, I don't know, the grains, the sanding value. At 1200, it's just perfect, and you don't lose your details. Okay, let's just go back to the skull part. But yeah, I mean, it's so enjoyable to have your own sculpt and working on this kind of project. When I speak about this 8 days approximately, it's really from the concept, thinking about the model, sculpting, optimizing, 3D printing, sanding, everything. I just didn't do the painting, just a gray color, because I had no time. I had to catch my plane. Okay. What I will do now is, I will copy my subtool. So many people don't know that you can do that. I'm just copying my subtool. Now I go back to my near model, this one, and I can paste it. Okay, and now that's done. I have my symmetry, scaling, oops. That way. So big head. I always have a very hard time when I'm working separately with the scale. Even if I know the proportions, it's... You see, now it's too large. Not so bad. A little bit more. What do you think? Just let me know your point of view about that, because I have the volume of the hairs. And I need to refine the shoulders, the neck as well. Okay, and just saving that would be great. Okay. I think it's better like that. And I think I will have a better point of view of that later, I guess. Yeah, it's... Switching to transparency, I can just scale down all of that. But I know that as soon as I will merge everything, it will be, well, easier. Yeah, thank you for your feedback. Yes, I think the hairs and everything will help a lot about figuring out the shape, the proportions. Okay. This, it's a little bit, it's proportion, I think. Okay, better like that. For me, the problem is the next stream about this project will be the 23rd of April. I have no way to do that next weekend because I won't be here. But I'm sure I will want to work on that and I will need to wait for the next stream. It will be so much frustration. I think I will do some research about how I will sculpt some parts because I need to find some. I found some ideas about. You see all of this part for I don't know these fabrics. There I have some ideas, but I'm not sure it will be very productive. I need to consider that the pod will be very easy to do. This is just pure hard sculpting. Then it will be another way to show more work with the Z modeler and IMM brushes and all these kind of things. But it should be great and easy to do. The hairs, I know I will do that. Clothes should be fine as well. In fact, my main concern is how I will put that just flying when it will be 3D printed. Will I use some transparent wires from the top using a kind of rod or tube to support? Need to find something. Est-ce qu'il est nécessaire de fusionner? Is it necessary to merge? Pour l'instant, je fais que les proportions. Je vais commencer à faire les mains et très rapidement, je vais commencer à ouais, j'ai intérêt à tout fusionner à partir du moment où je sais à peu près bon sur les proportions, car pour travailler les transitions entre les parties, au niveau du cou et tout ce qui va à côté, ouais, c'est quand même relativement, c'est relativement utile, sachant qu'après je vais resplitter, mais au moins pour avoir les bonnes proportions telles quelles maintenant. Après, ce qui fusionne dans le cou ici, on s'en fiche, ça va disparaître, tout va fusionner ensemble. The question was more about is it necessary to merge or not, and I think it's for me, for now, very soon I will merge. I think before the end of this stream, I will start to merge just to help me finding some refining more the shape of the character. Then, for me, the legs are so weird. I mean, so large. I just see big questions. How will I merge jaw, mouth to the head, etc.? I will just use Dynamesh. Right now, I'm not in details again. I'm more in the shape. As soon as I will have all the shape in place, I mean the arms, the feet, etc., etc., then I will switch to subdivision levels and I will work on that. I mean, until I'm not at the stage of having all the large details and medium-sized details, I will stay between Dynamesh and ZRemesher and subdivision levels. But as soon as everything will be just in place, I will just keep subdivision levels. I will have more freedom about finding the good proportions. But perhaps I will switch back to Dynamesh at one stage. Switch back. It's a lot of back and forth. Oh, please, when you are sending some message to me, use the @polysculpt. Like that, it's more visible for me on the stream. Then there is no issue about having the long neck, as it will just merge everything. The Dynamesh will merge everything as one piece together. No, I won't do much while you're gone. I will try about doing nothing on it. Do Git, yeah, it's more something else about, yeah, perhaps I need to do another stream about that. Yeah, there is two messages from two different people. Yes, I will try to do to explain about that. Of course, FDM printers are more strict about the support. Okay, I think for now I will just do some part for the shoes very quickly. Shoes are different. You see this one, but at least to start to have something. Come on. Why? Oh, okay. Again, just to have some proportions. Also, having the fit will help to understand better the volume. And that's why Dynamesh would be useful, because clearly I don't have enough polygon for that. But at least I have an idea about the proportions. I hope my English is fine so far. I know I have very strong French accents. Et désolé pour les Français, hein, c'est vrai que je parle bien plus en anglais qu'en français. About the printer I will use, I probably do some mixed prints. For the final print, for sure, I will use an SLA printer. I hope for the end of the project that anyway, I want to present this project at the Wonder Festival in Japan at the end of July the 30th. And at the end of July, I want to present this project. I will print all that, and if I find some money, I think I will purchase Form 2 just to replace my Form 1. I'm pretty sure about that. Then I will do that with the Form 2. But I will perhaps do some print in larger size, something like this size, just to see also the model by itself. Why? Because FDM printer, 1 kilogram of material is something like $30, $40 if you buy some premium material. Why SLA it's 169, 179 per liter of resin. Then if there is some issues, well, you are not very happy. Well, you see this kind of print, which is I don't know, 18 centimeters, 15. Yeah, 15 centimeters. It's very thin, very small. It's not a lot of materials, but for this one, I have some parts flying, all this kind of stuff. I don't know yet. I will do both things. Okay. And you see so far, I see someone speaking about time it takes. Okay, this is almost 2 hours of stream and I'm talking a lot. This is one of my problems. You see that, of course, it's far to be perfect, but you start to see at least the proportions. Let me just remove my transparency of the model. Just imagine some hairs, some part of for the clothes, which will be different, of course. You start to move forward with something which is not that bad. Okay, now I will just merge everything. Okay, like that. and before merging, something which is very, very important when you're doing some specific operation, just save before. Because if you are doing some mistakes, undoing sometime, like merging, is not easy when you are a newcomer, because ZBrush, there is no undos when you are merging something. Of course, if you know ZBrush, you can work with polygroups and splitting some parts, but just save, okay? Okay. I will thank you for the uptime for the bot. Okay, then that's great so far. Let me remove the floor. Okay, then I want to merge everything. I think the head is too low. It's weird. Yeah, I need to work on that. And I think the head is too much on the front. Then I need to work. I mean, I need to change a little bit the neck. Okay, that way. It's always difficult to work with all these oversized heads for the animation. Thank you, Dark and Grim, for my English. I appreciate. You see, that's why I'm always working with low resolution meshes. It's so much easier. Okay, I will just overwrite my previous save. So there is some bumpy effects on this area, and if I want to fix that, it's better to go lower in resolution. Trying to fix what you're doing, working on the silhouette, just slightly, just small touches, like that. Of course, you can go crazy and say, oh, I want more to skull then. Okay, just try to be more, let's say, accurate, like that. You see, it's a mix of when you need to move or when you need to sculpt, because it's totally different. See, all this part I need to rework for the back part of the character for now. And you see, I say just I will merge, but no, I'm not merging anymore. I'm more sculpting. Yeah, I really need to work on the back. It's so weird now. So I also need to put back my references. You see it's too low compared to the original model. refine that over the time, because right now I'm not happy at all with that. You see the angle is quite weird. Okay, I will continue that later. Then again, I will merge everything. Let me just save again. Always do incremental saves like that. If something is wrong, you can always revert back to another version. Okay, and now merge down. Or you can do, if you want something different, you can do merge visible. And like that, you will have another subtool. You keep this one, you still have the other one if you want to go back. Okay, I'm just looking about everything. Yeah, always save first, right, for sure. Funny, we will smooth things out with Patient with ZBrush, yes, for sure. My wife is sleeping right now. Okay, then to merge everything, what I will do a Dynamesh in higher resolution. Then first thing to do is duplicate. I'm always duplicating something to keep the original model. And then I will do my Dynamesh. Okay, then let me just go in the palette directly. I always remove the projection because projection is needed times to times, but it takes a lot of time to process, especially with a high resolution. I don't know for the resolution for now, then I will just keep Dynamesh by default and looking about what will be the result based on the size. And I have multiple subdivision levels. Okay, I don't want to keep them. Definitely, you see, my resolution is not enough for what I want to do. I really want to keep as much details as possible. Let me switch to 448, something like that. Okay, now my Dynamesh is closer to what I want. A little bit more. Okay, let's go to this one. No. Let me wait a little bit. Okay, then I can smooth if I want just a transition area. For the jaw, you see I have some colors apply, I don't care. And at this stage, what I will do is I will use my Z-remesher. Just below, I keep this, let's say 5 should be fine. I'm just pressing the Alt key while I'm pressing on the Z-remesher. If you don't know that, there is two algorithms to compute the symmetry in Z-remesher. One is the default one. If you have in transform palette the symmetry enabled, then it will in fact cut in half your model, compute the retopology, and then doing a mirror and well on the other side. While when you press the Alt key, it will compute everything on the whole model, but of course it takes way more time. Okay, I think I forgot. My model, I didn't put the symmetry because I need to have at least the symmetry enabled, even if I'm using the Alt key. Sorry, just for the extra weight. The lag may be back because ZBrush is computing and it's using way more CPU. Then the streaming process may be slower just for that, because the streaming quality is good so far. Okay, now you see my symmetry, my topology seems to be nice. Oh, I forgot one thing, my mistake. I wanted to put the hands. Then for the hands, again, I'm lazy. Oops, sorry. In my brushes, do I have them here? I should have them. I have the Sakaki Kaoru brushes. This one. Who is a Japanese artist? I should have his book here. Okay. If Japanese is not an issue for you, I strongly advise you to purchase this book, which is about figurine creation with ZBrush. You have a lot of illustration inside. It's very visual. Of course, this is in Japanese, but if you know ZBrush already, it's quite easy to understand, and you have a lot of tips and tricks. Sakaki Kaoru now is a certified instructor, and he should do a stream in Japanese, probably in May, then on ZBrush Live. And this book is really great, which is ZBrush Textbook for Professional Model Sculptors, written in English. Anyway, I can just look about that on, let me just check about, let me just Google for that. Okay, let me copy paste the link. Okay, we have a link from the editor, and you have the videos on YouTube. He puts almost everything on YouTube. There is no audio, no comments, but you can just watch him working with ZBrush. It's very instructive. I met him multiple times in Japan. It's a great guy. I noticed that I'm just speaking in English now, only in English. Fallman123, ZBrush is strictly for modding, right? No rigging, skinning, etc. ZBrush is mainly for sculpting, modeling, and painting. You can do some rigging. You have these spheres, which is great to do some pose. And this guy in his book is showing how he's using this sphere to change the pose of the hands, which is very, very useful. Then I'm using one of his brush, which is an IMM brush, where you have multiple hands like that, you see, and some ears, and it's great because you can do the lazy thing like, okay, now my hands are done. You see, like that, you can go back. I'm sorry, but sometimes I'm just lazy, and I don't want to spend so much time in doing things that I know I can do. I mean, it's fine, I'm doing that on a regular basis, but okay, why not reinventing the wheel? Like that. You see, and after I will refine, of course, everything. Let me just remove the floor. And as soon as I will merge everything, it will be more easier to combine everything. Okay. Come on, rotation. You can switch between perspective, of course, and orthogonal view. I may rotate them a little bit. Sorry, I'm taking some measurements, which are okay, better that way. Okay, sometimes you need to be lazy. I think I will change again the proportion later because it should more arrive on this area. Anyway, for this brush, you can find him if you're looking for Sakaki Kaoru on. Let me just find the brush, because on his website he has some. Okay, I have it. Downloads. Okay, you have some brushes. I don't know if you remember, but during the summit, Thomas Witzelbach spoke about multiple brushes in the beginning, and he mentioned some SK brushes. These are the brush from this artist. Then let me just show you that. You see, I have multiple brush. This Clayfield is great brush. I have it, I think, somewhere. My Clayfield, where it is. You see this one. I'm using two of these brushes, the SK Cloth and SK Clayfield, which are great brushes. This is something I'm using. I did my own one, but we are using the same trick, to build some hair stuff, using some curves. Yeah, you can just download everything. Of course in Japanese, but Google Translation will work fine for your just to browse the website. Then you have the link in Twitch. Okay, let's just go back. Now let's merge again everything. I remove my Dynamesh. I will save as again. Okay. Now everything has been merged. Okay, I don't care about all of that. Okay. And let me remove the old one. Delete. Okay. Let me put back the music. Sorry, I replay the same music, but it was just great to have that on the background. Yeah, the hands now are way too small. Okay, I don't care. And then duplicate, hiding, and the remesher with the Alt key pressed. I'm just waiting a little bit. You're welcome, Eluzi31. Eluzi31, yeah. Yes, of course, you can visit badking.com.au, which is a great website with a lot of ZBrush content. It's, yes, great resource for IMM brushes, for so many things. Okay, then now I'm back, and the good thing is I will put divide to have enough polygons. Okay, you see my face is not very nice. Okay, like that. And I can reproject my details. The only thing I will do first will be to store a morph target. Like that, I can save the position of each vertices. You will see perhaps why. And now I will project one model on, this one on the other one. Then project all, I leave the values by default. And I'm waiting. Okay, no polypainting. Perhaps the stream will have some issue. Yes, 私の日本語はまだまだです。でも、日本語は難しいです。すみません。See, I can speak a little bit Japanese, but, well, far to have a fluent conversation with people. That's a question. What are you most excited about the future of 3D printing? It's a very difficult question because there is no major improvement since the last year, except improvement in quality and in color printing, but this is ready for high-end 3D printers. As soon as someone will be able to have the SLA quality with colors, okay, it will be just fantastic. Then now we have printers, like I said, the Form 2, but other printers are able to print very accurate things. Now what I want to do is to be able to print very large parts with SLA printing in no time, and for me the most important thing, having some techniques to avoid supports. There is printing with SLS printing, which are a different type of printing. The metal printing are using SLS. Most of the print that you can have at Shapeways or Sculpteo are also SLS printing. This is this is laser steering, I don't know the name in English, which is in fact a laser beam, which is just burning some powder, mixing with plastics or metal just locally. And then the powder is just a support for your model, which is great, but you have this kind of sand effect, which is not very nice for ZBrush models. yeah, it's difficult to answer to your questions. Okay, now I did my reprojections. Let me just check about everything. Okay, of course the feet are just ugly, hands. Okay, I don't need to have access to my morph target brush. Okay, then you see now I have, of course, some proportion need to be refined, but I need to work more on the top. There is some, yeah, I'm not very happy with that. On the pectoral area and shoulders, I need to rework on that. But now I have multiple subdivision of levels on my model. Everything has been merged. Okay, I want to change the scale of my hands. I can just go back like that. I'm inverting my mask. I can scale a little bit my hand. Okay, like that. Can move. You see, just done. Okay, I can move like that. Can smooth a little bit. You see, like my feet like before, I can just refine. And again for the feet, because you will have some shoes, I don't need to spend quite some time on that. And some part will be sculpted more in details when I will do the pose. Why? Because for the back part of the body, because we will just bend the legs, and then the back part will be just stretched as well. I will have a lot of stretching. Then it's better to say, okay, let's just, sorry, just to show you as an example. I won't do that really in details, but see, doing like that. Okay, then if I'm doing a rotation, let's remove my perspective. You see, when you do something like that, and you see, just to have the good pose. Of course I have some issues, but you see all this stretching. Okay, then I will need to sculpt big part of my model just to fit what should be the good position for my character. You see, it's not very nice at all. You see, this part is I mean, the bending is just ugly. That's why I prefer spending more time to having the good proportion now. Let me just go back in history. You see, that way I know my proportions are good, the shape and everything, and then when I will be done with everything which is symmetrical, I will start to define the pose and then refine. And even for the legs which are not symmetrical in the pose, I will just do the pose symmetrical, and after I will refine with removing the symmetry. Also because I don't want to spend hours about, you see, working just on the shoes, because shoes are symmetrical, everything is symmetrical. Then I will do as much as possible symmetrical, and after I will just, break the symmetry. Then I will continue to work on the shape. Okay, that way I need to remove on the chest area, because boobs are, yeah, Japanese style, let's say. And I need to consider that everything is just connected, sorry. And now that I have my subdivision levels, I have way more freedom to sculpt all these areas. If I want to have more muscular areas, you see, I can do something which is more écorché style. And it's more pure sculpting at this stage. Of course, I don't have any more my Dynamesh, and I need to consider this restriction. And now by working that way, it will be more easier to see, okay, what's going on, where my proportions are off. Or let's say I want to work on this area, the chest, and okay, it's weird like that. Okay, I can go back again. This is the same workflow again and again, and I can, because, oops, sorry. Okay. See, I have less polygon, then I have more freedom. Keep that in mind, less polygons, more freedom. Her chest is very oriented to the top. And you see, I don't spend too much time to look about the details. I just, again, to have some volumes. I don't think I need to be very strong on the details. Again, because it won't be visible, except if I want to spend more time in my process, but don't spend too much time in sculpting what again is not really visible, except if you want to spend some good time. This is what I'm doing right now. Come on, sculpting is so much enjoyable. And you see the shape here, which is not rounded at all, not this area. Again, I can just go back in resolution, just go down, sorry, in resolution, and I can increase like that. That's why working with the silhouette is very important. And always turn around, just try to see, okay, if it's working fine or not. And you see, so far I didn't use, again, like I said before, I didn't use so many brushes. So this is more some landmarks for me. I don't think I will spend so many time on this. It's weird, the leg like that. You see again, up some deformations. Okay, a bit of smoothing. Oops. And now, just for the fun, but I need to look about the time. Oh, what is the time? Sorry, I didn't look at the chat recently. Je travaille sur ZBrush. Bah déjà, ça fait depuis 9 ans que je travaille chez Pixologic, donc voilà. Et je bossais déjà avant sur ZBrush, donc depuis la version 1.55, je travaille sur ZBrush. Donc voilà. For the file format I'm using for 3D printing, it depends at all. If most of the time I'm export as a STL file or OBJ file, there is no difference. In fact, just STL, binary, or OBJ file are more compact. After I'm printing myself, then I just need to export to the software, the slicing software or the printer software, then it's fine. Sorry. Yeah, Elusi 31. I spend now more. Yeah, I'm at 2 hours and 27 minutes. Of course, there is some chat, but you see that. Of course, this is still a draft. I really see that as a draft right now, but you can really work very quickly with ZBrush. You see that all this shape. I need to make this part softer. Okay, sorry, this is a nice body. I need to take care about the curves, but. Yeah, you can achieve some very great and fast result with ZBrush. That's why ZBrush is really a concept sculpting tool now in a lot of industries and studios, because you have an idea in few minutes, and for that, I mean, I'm way not the best artist in the world. There is artists who are able to really sculpt in no time very crazy models, and just do some speed sculpting. This is a very good training. Then yeah, this is the beauty of digital sculpting and ZBrush. You have an idea you can put on screen and be crazy. It can be characters, can be hard surfaces, it can be environment. Of course, after what takes time is all this refinement. Right now, I just build this shape and still the head. I need to increase the size of the head. You see, I have some proportion issues on the head, and this part, something is just off. But the shoulders are way too low. But okay, I want to change that. No problems. I can just move like that. You see, that way. I want be crazy. You see, changing like that your proportion. If you want to change the expression, you see, you can. This is just quick and dirt stuff, but you have all this freedom. That this is very important to think that, okay, what are the best tools to build your shape? That's why Dynamesh and ZRemesher is a great addition to switch in between. And after, of course, like I said, what takes time is doing all these small details. I will spend way more time in doing the clothes and all the small details, the wrinkles, the clothes bending and accessories than just building a shape. But at least you have something which is visible. And if you want to be even more crazy, let me just save that. Okay, like that, and you say, okay, now let's just remove this symmetry. Going to clay buildup, and just doing this eye bound. I don't know how to say that in English. Then I'm doing that very quickly and just in a dirt way, but a dirty way. I just do the front part. I can use my trim dynamic brush. Just to bend everything. Clay build up again. I can use my Dam Soda brush. You see something like that. Okay. Just quickly. That way. Again, my oops. Fill object. A little bit too big. Okay, and the idea is not to do something clean right now, but if you want to spend sometimes just a few minutes to see what it could look like. And I don't care about the topology, really the look and feel. And sorry, it will be very far from what is to be, but you can start to have, let's say, an idea about what it could be. Let me just remove the black color. Sorry, I think the hairs are way too large. But by just doing some stroke like that, you see that, okay, what my character looks like. You see at this scale, of course, these are not the good eyes, but you can do something nice. I miss so many messages. Again, the matte cap I'm using is Polyskin. It will be part of ZBrush for R8. This is a material I did, and it is already in ZBrush Core. Okay. Yes, 3D modeling for printing is different for character animation because there is no topology issues. We don't care about bending. What we want is something which is a volume, which need to be printable. Okay. We don't care about the video card with ZBrush. This is just pure CPU. Okay. You know, someone replied to the question I just answered before. Okay. Okay. You see? And yeah, and I can continue to say I want to change my shape for the hair, the hairs, sorry. That way. Yeah, I don't have floating hairs and things like that, but okay. And even if I want to continue to do something which is closer to this design, like that, okay, you want to do some sculpt? again. You see, just doing these kind of things can be very helpful to understand better the volume of your model. And see if you are very far or not from what you're doing. I'm just doing some symmetrical stuff, but oops, not very nice. You see, then of course I'm very far from what could be the model, but this is a really great way to, okay, in just few minutes, by just using very few, sorry, it's late, brush strokes, you can achieve some ideas at least. Yes, it's symmetrical, it's not nice, but okay, I want to reshape. Okay, I'm reshaping. With symmetry to be better. See how you want to be crazy in shapes, it's fine. Okay, you see, yeah, it's not very nice at all, but again, this is just to show you that in no time you can just be close to what you have in mind, which is for me the most important. Oops. I will try to do something. My beloved clay polish. Yeah, not very nice. What am I setting for clay polish? It should be fine. Anyway. Yeah, not very nice. Okay, let me just look at what you wrote. Would I say if drawing skills are an advantage for modeling? Yes and no. Yes, of course. Having strong drawing skills mean that if you are a good drawer, you need to think in perspective. You need to think in symmetry. I mean, at least almost symmetrical. In fact, a good drawer is someone who already have a good perception of volume in space and then reproducing this volume. Then, of course, it's very helpful. But on the other side, when people are afraid about digital sculpting. How many people told me by email or phone call or on trade show, I can't do digital sculpting, 3D stuff, it's so complicated, I can't even draw. Why I would do 3D sculpting? Again, the same argument I just said about drawing is that for digital sculpting, ZBrush is managing for you the perspective, the point of view, the symmetry, the lighting, which is giving some depth for the shading, for the shadows. Then all these complicated parts are done with a 3D software, and then within I can't pronounce that, within ZBrush. You see now I'm in perspective, not anymore in orthogonal view. Okay, if something is wrong about that, I can turn around, I can refine. You see my lips are not happy. If you see something like that in 2D, okay, it could look nice, but if you go in another point of view, doing some changes, it will improve the subtle changes, and from another point of view, then you can just sucks. You can suck at drawing and being a good artist. There is so many artists, and even people streaming at ZBrush Live or at the summit, people say, okay, I'm not a good drawer. Okay, I can draw, but I'm not a fantastic drawer. I'm not a good drawer. I can sketch stuff, but I'm way better in 3D than in 2D. Of course, being good in 3D will help for the 2D because it will force you about thinking in 3D when you will draw, because you will be used about 3D. Then being good in drawing will help in 3D, and being good in 3D will help in 2D. And that's why I'm saying to a lot of 2D illustrators, okay, you know how to draw, then you will know how to sculpt. There is no question about that. Thank you, Doug, for the comment. If I will finish my work in perspective on, yes and no. I will switch between. I'm always switching between both point of view, between perspective and orthogonal view. It really depends. But if your model looks fine in perspective and then in orthogonal view, then you're a winner. Not a winner, but it's a proof that your model is not too much off. But if your model looks great in orthogonal view and weird on off in perspective, or the opposite, something is wrong, and you need to fix that. You need to find the good in between. An example, I'm doing a lot of photography, and if you're doing some portraits with a lens which is more 35 millimeters, which is very wide angle, very wider, but already very wide angle, you'll have some distortions. And then if you are taking a photo with a 200 millimeters, okay, you will have a nice bokeh, but you will be your face will be, perspective will be collapsed. Then that's why angle like 85 millimeters is nice, which is in fact in between orthogonal view and perspective between ZBrush and most of the software. Of course, this is my point of view as a photographer. Also, photography will help a lot for 3D and drawing to understand better the point of view, the depth, the shadows, the light, etc., etc. Yes, practice and practice and practice. Okay. Sorry, I won't save that. I will just go back in history. You see, this is the beauty of history, is now I can go back in, like that, and I know that I can continue again to refine my model. Oh, just an extra tip, which is very, very, very important when you are drawing, sculpting with ZBrush. Always change your matcap, your material, real-time material. You see I have multiple materials, and if you look something in, let's say this material looks great, this one looks great, look great, okay, it's okay. But sometimes you are working with like this one, this RS big red material, which is a part of a commercial material part. I really love this material because you have a rim light. But it beautifies your model. But okay, it's great. I really enjoy. But if you switch back to something which is more regular, like Skin Shade 4, it will look flat or just off again. Then mine is kinda neutral, a little bit of rim lights, but at some stage when I think I'm close to having something which looks great, I'm switching a lot between material and see, okay, the front looks nice, but what about the back part of my model? You see, I need to smooth a little bit. Okay, I need to work on the arms like that and the shoulders, which are just not good. This part, you see, I'm just giving some comment, but I can't stop myself fixing some parts. You see, for this one, this is not very good. Oh, something also I need to let you know is, of course, advanced user, it will be a no-brainer what I will say, but you see for the delimitation between the shoulders and the back. Sorry, I don't know the name in English of the muscle on the back. Even in French, I'm not very good in muscles names. I should fix that. One of the tricks I'm doing a lot of time is to put some landmark by using, okay, I just use the down standard brush, which is great to put this landmark, but it just faking the depth. If you want to have a very nice mark, natural mark, in fact, this is sculpting. Okay, I want to sculpt this mark, this is more, okay, sculpting this area, and then yourself creating this transition in between. It will be more accurate that way. Don't fake this kind of details, you need to sculpt them directly. I don't say I did something nice, just to explain you. Okay, anyway, I will save that now. It's already late. I've spent way more time than I was expecting. I will just look about some few questions. Let me just save that. Okay, that way. Next time I will work on the hairs and these kind of things because it will give me more volume and, let's say, depth on the character itself. I need to work on the eyes, the head again. Okay, I will just look at your question. Again, I would like to thank very much team who've been kind enough to, where is my links? Who's been kind enough to allow me to use his fan art. Then I just give again the link to his work. Please subscribe. I mean, just like his work and follow him. He have some great work. I really enjoy his style, and yes, you have, it's very anime style, but you have different style of characters. There is other 2Bs as well. And just spend some time looking at what he's doing. Let me just give you back this link I gave at the beginning. Okay, for the Square Enix blog. It's interesting to see some comments about the artist. It's not technical at all, and everybody can follow that. Again, I will stream. The next time will be the April the 23rd and the 30th, and again I will do multiple streams to work on that. And I will try to answer your questions. If you think that you need to have some streaming just about 3D sculpting, 3D printing, more in details, the process, or having your question like Ask ZBrush about 3D printing, perhaps we can do something like that. And perhaps Joseph Jost will join me because Joseph and I were spending so much time in 3D printing. Perhaps it could be something like that. Anyway, if you want to learn ZBrush, please just join the Z Classroom. I mean, follow the videos. You have so many videos on YouTube as well. You have multiple websites having commercial or free video training, and you have so many artists like Shenolson, who is the next one, who will do stylized characters. Just subscribe, follow us on Twitch, like that you'll be notified for everything else. And that's all for now. There is no other question so far. Okay, then thank you very much for following me. Then see you next time in a couple of weeks. And you can ask your question also at ZBC. Then just continue the work and okay, enjoy ZBrush. Bye bye.